All right.
Is there anything happening, we discussed way back on Pine Lawn, with the non-accessible waiting rooms?
Well,
Will those be new waiting rooms? What's going to be
that
happening?
building's gonna be gone,
Okay.
and then there's gonna be a new platform gonna be built on the other side. And we're negotiating with a cemetery, there's a private cemetery there.
Mhm.
So you see the road, I forgot the name of that road, they're reconfiguring that road.
Mhm.
So they actually, all that extra land, it's theirs now. So we're negotiating with them to build like a kind of a drop off, like a driving area, they can drive in, pull up, you know, we wanna have at least 5 spots for whatever, and then a pickup drop off area, people can drive in and out. But it's actually gonna be on their property, so we have to negotiate with them on that. But it's not gonna be a station building, it's gonna be like a shed with probably heat and light and stuff.
So you can't be able to buy tickets?
They don't have tickets there now.
No, but you're redoing it, so I'm asking, when you redo it.
I don't think they're gonna put tickets there. That's based on sales, because so you're talking about a handful of people a day, under 10 people a day that they kind of use it.
I've been getting a lot of complaints of parking at Ronkonkoma. Just not enough parking.
Actually, I was seeing something in the news.
People wondering, it looks like some trees were taken down, is that gonna be no parking? It's all over social media.
Was that on the? I saw today. Was that on the south side?
Yeah.
Because we're not doing anything on the south side, so I don't know who's doing that.
Can we find out if they're?
Yeah.
Because
Actually, you were there yesterday. You said there was you had an issue trying to park yesterday.
And today, but I wasn't gonna bring that up at the meeting. That wasn't gonna be my contribution today.
You didn't try and get to the station at 7 o'clock, did you?
No worse.
Oh, gee.
After.
Once you're a community, you realize after 7 o'clock, there's not even a spot on the grass to park. I mean, you gotta be there early to get a parking spot.
Sorry, I cut you off for a second.
Yes, I don't think we're doing any work there, but I have
No,
to find
but
out
it'd be nice,
from the
because
town.
I mean, it'd be nice for people to know that it is coming, because they're really upset. They're really upset. I
Yeah.
mean, people parking on the grass, they say they can't even get those spots anymore. So, it's worth, I don't commute out of there, so I'm not there, it's all over. The second track.
Well, second track, next August is our target date to complete it.
So what are you up to now? Where are you now?
We're working between Wyandanch and Farmingdale, in that stretch.
I haven't seen, okay, so it's,
You know, they've been clearing, they've been putting retaining walls, we have the track. So next year, coming up next year, one thing not to look forward to is they're gonna require a lot of outages to complete this work on time. So there's gonna be some scheduled impacts as a result.
and you'll, hopefully then, the announcement that you make at the station makes sense.
Yes.
Because the announcements now say, for White Edge, it says, the next train will be coming in on track 1, that there's only one track. So every time the guys say that, everyone just rolls their eyes, you know. We know in the future, but right now, there's no other track. So,
It's gonna confuse a lot of people too, because they do it from looking out from the city, turning around. I think Long Island Railroad would look at the city, but Long Island Railroad looks away from the city. It reads right to left, left to right. Your A's and B's and 1s and 2s read from north to south rather than from south to north. You would think Long Island Railroad would look at the city and read from left to right, 1, 2, A, B, but they don't. They look from the city and read 1, 2, A, B.
There's actually
I fought with myself a long time to learn that when I was young, when I was a kid.
Right, that's why it's an issue.
When I was a kid, I fought with myself over that issue. Because Long Island Railroad, why do they read from left to right from the city? Didn't make sense to me.
Bill, I'm going to ask you, as part of this thing, I saw on Metro North's agenda for their meeting, to discuss updates on, I guess, Metro into Penn Station. Is there anything going on that we should maybe know about?
No, they are doing some preliminary work on it, so it's just sort of a general update on it. I mean, a lot of it's like preliminary engineering on the stations up in the Bronx. They're looking at the sites for those and that kind of thing, and what they're going to have to do as far as changing tracks up there. They didn't present they did present to the capital program oversight committee at the last board cycle. It was a pretty short presentation, but it's really focused. What they're doing now is really focused up there. I think they're gonna, in a way I think they wanna stay away from Penn Station until, with all the stuff that's going on down there between the Moynihan and Amtrak. They just assume not be involved in that. And in fact, they don't even know. I don't think they even know what's going to be worked out as far as their access and what tracks they might have and where their facilities might be and that kind of thing.
The other thing, two issues, obviously, if you know anything about Jamaica reconfiguration, what's happening with that. There'll be a lot of concerns about it, but I assume that's not going to change
No,
the scope of it.
The work is under construction, the new platform's there.
Because I guess our concern is since East Side Access is being pushed back, we want to make sure that.
I haven't heard that yet.
Well, everyone else knows how to do that. The inconvenience of the switching over isn't going to fall on the riders until East Side Access is actually completed. We don't want,
Oh, no,
we
that's
don't want
not,
the Jamaica stuff to come too
no,
early.
it's being built, it wouldn't be implemented until East Side Access comes.
So it's going to be built to say empty, and you think you're not going to get bad press about empty tracks?
I mean, it could probably be used, but it's not, we're not gonna implement it.
We don't want it to be.
Yeah, no,
inconvenient to
it's-
be-
yeah.
I'm
That's
concerned
what it has to be.
I'm concerned you're gonna be pressured to do it, because you're gonna say you built all this and you're not using it, then, so.
Well, the commuters are gonna come right out with that, you know that. They built all this and now you.
But the problem is it's gonna be adverse, to use it adverse for
Well,
computers.
people
That's the
don't realize it yet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Until it hits them, I mean, it's gonna hit them hard, because they, one-seat ride, I go out of my way for a one-seat ride into Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I will wait an hour for that next train for a one-seat ride, or go in an hour early for that 8:13 out of Limerick. Because at one seat, I sit down, I get up in Atlantic Terminal.
So, I mean, there's people starting, we're getting more feedback about they don't want it to change, so we'll see how that plays out.
Final thing for me, Lisa, is Penn Station. Any new update about anything?
What about the summer?
Plans, Penn Station?
I know that there was something in the board that went out in August about, see how we opened up the West End concourse area? There's a plan to have somebody redesign the rest of Penn Station to make it more friendlier that way. So they're gonna be awarding a contract for somebody to come with design, so, better signage, better lighting, that kind of stuff.
Announcements?
Well, they're getting a little bit of that concourse, they're getting a little bit of the related
Tree
front property to widen it out. And the ceilings are gonna look like a Chinese buffet with the clouds in the sky.
There's actually a lot of, we have a lot of work coming up this year, the rest of this year and then starting next year, a lot of aggressive construction. So next weekend is Post Avenue Bridge. We're gonna shut down the main line between Mineola and Hicksville for the weekend. The new bridge, you saw the governor have the announcement last Thursday. The new bridge was constructed on site. They're gonna dismantle the tracks Friday night, take out the old bridge and put the new bridge in one weekend. So it's gonna be a big, I don't think we've ever done two things like that at once.
What
But
bridge?
Post Avenue, Westbury.
Post
It's
Avenue.
not next to the Westbury Station. Was that just a happy accident that Gov was out there the day that the bridge was hit?
No, the hit gets,
Or
I
did
think it's like
he-
8 or
did
9
he-
times a
did he-
year that gets
Did he
hit.
see that, or did his people see that and say, hey, we gotta stop by and take
No,
a
that, it
look?
was being planned, but then to do an event, that may have cemented
Yeah,
the need
yeah.
to do this event.
Pushed it a
No,
little
it's
bit
just,
faster.
we got a call, because Mark got a call in the afternoon, and just, neither of us could
Yeah,
make it out there.
it wasn't planned months in advance or weeks in advance.
Yeah,
Hours.
hours, okay. Yeah.
Actually related, so one of the things, in the past we've done the Z train. So that weekend, if you're on a Port Jeff branch, you're gonna go to Hicksville and take buses and everything between. If you're on a Ronkonkoma branch, it's gonna go past Farmingdale, go down to Central branch, and then go down the Babylon branch to get to Penn. So the Ronkonkoma people will have service.
Now
Then
that
we'll
you
have to
mention it, I
check.
want to follow up with my conversation with you, the bus, taxi situation. Is
So,
that name of it? Did you
The
follow
bus,
up
the
on
bus,
that?
I follow about the bus. So,
Let me just give everyone here, just so they know, this is the weekend they were doing planned work, and they were trains were only going to Farmingdale. My car was at Wide Edge, it was a Saturday night, and they said they had buses continuing on. I didn't wanna wait for a bus, so it took it to Farmingdale, I figured I'll just get a cab, the one stop to Wide Edge, which should be about $7 or $8. Of course, all the cabs knew there were no trains, and they came in, they were charging $25, $35 to go the one stop from Farmingdale to Wide Edge. People really, especially Wide Edge here, are not gonna afford to pay that. They were gouging people, which we had worked on years ago, but not being allowed to do it. My question is, again, what cabs are being allowed to come into the trains? They're being monitored. I know this is the town, but it's affecting the riders, the customers. And the second is as I told the guy what we could do with this $25, thing, and I got out of the cab. The bus came, from the MTA bus came to take us. I said, where you going? Next stop is Wide Edge. Great, I get on with my luggage on people, and the guy proceeded, it's 10 minutes away, he got lost. He ended up all the way out in Deer Park, wouldn't take any comments from anybody until he finally acknowledged that he was lost. Can anybody help me? The guy sitting next to me, his mother had taken the train, I guess where I was there at the bus, that guy also got lost. There was no GPS, it was all handwritten instructions they gave the bus drivers. So that's now twice within an hour that the buses got lost. So, I mean, I just called you, I don't make a big deal of it, but I'd like to know, just so he doesn't work.
So with the buses, I found out what happened was, so that same weekend, they were doing some track work, that's why they had the outage. But then we also closed the road. We were doing some, at a grade crossing in that area. So the bus drivers, so they don't get lost, they do actually give them directions, like turn by turn. The people that did the turn by turn, the station folks, they weren't aware of the road closure. So that's what threw the bus drivers off, and they were getting lost.
Well, the way they went all the way onto the LIE from Farmingdale to Wade Edge. The street that I wanted them to go down, buses go down there every day, and school buses are there. He said he had to go on the LIE, which takes you really out of the way. And then he missed the whole thing, but twice. So will we make sure next time that they have a backup GPS? He had no one even to call. He had nobody to call. He just didn't know what to do. And by that point, not only will he first had to go back to Wide Edge, but then because all the people on the bus were now really late getting to where they were going, because he had to first go back and then go back again. So hopefully next time that there's more communication. If someone doesn't know where they're going, they can call somebody. And this train and the cab situation, I mean, we helped get that taxi commission, implemented, but it's not working because every time they know that there's trains around, they're just gouging people left and right.
Actually, you just hit me with an idea. Perhaps when we know we're going to be doing busing, maybe notifying the taxi commission of that, so maybe they can monitor it. Because like we don't monitor the taxis, but maybe we can start letting them know.
I mean, aren't there some stations where they have to?
Well, in
they
some
have taxi
stations,
spots
we lease out,
right.
the space to the taxis to operate
Right.
out of our stations.
So can other cabs come in there, or only they can use it?
So it's two things. One, some of them they lease out spots to park the taxis, and then some of them have like actually taxi dispatch offices that get leased from us. Other than that, anybody can pull up and operate there. We don't
Well, we should
control
at
it.
least make sure that the ones that are leasing don't gouge, because they've given the permission to use it at the very least. And if it's outlined, then we can deal with it, but if it's everybody doing it.
Yeah, like Farmingdale, I
no
believe is
choice.
the village manages they give the license to the taxi. So they displaced
The first time it happened to me way back when we pushed for the commission, wasn't happened to White Edge, it wasn't as far out there. That's what happened to me, the first time.
So we're gonna follow up with the taxi commission about that issue. I have helped them, so we can do things like
Yes.
that.
No, but that's an excellent idea, is letting the taxi commission know so that they can be. The other thing you may want to consider is putting up a small poster in all the waiting room, just letting people know that there is a taxi commission, and that if you feel you've been gouged, call, 1-800 I got screwed or whatever, and they can call the commission and find, register a complaint. Because to tell you the truth, until Mark just reminded me, I forgot we even had a taxi commission.
Well, for Nassau, I don't know if we have it in Suffolk.
I thought it was
Oh, there is
something. No, I thought it was
one.
something.
That's the one we got through.
Because Maureen was all upset
Because
about,
Nassau is implementing.
Price gouging out of-
That was me. I had the press conference and.
well, I think she might have stuck, because she was all upset about getting price gouged out of Huntington and Cold Spring Harbor.
That Wide Edge, that's when they did the whole press thing. And, but it is there. I mean, what the powers are, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
It's there. And I don't think they want to focus on this part of it because they don't want to deal with it, but someone has to, because it's not fair to riders to get off, you know, and then one day it's $5 and they see you coming, now it's $3. I know it's not your responsibility, but the riders, they associate it with the railroad. They're
Part of the
getting off,
customer
getting off the
experience.
train, the cab is there, they assume that the railroad has some responsibility for it, so they still think that. Anybody else want to say anything before we?
No, but I think the taxi commission, you know, the posters up with a number to call. You know, even if it's not a 1-800 number, it's just a number of whatever the commission is. So this way, if someone does feel gouged, they can take the name down next morning when they get to the train station, call it in, and say I was on such and such a cab, and go home, and they charge me $20, and it's normally $8.
This
You
way
know,
they don't call you, they call their.
Yeah, exactly. This
It's
way you
really
can.
part of it, we could schedule, say, a meeting with the two tax commissions, you guys send a rep and us, we could just start the dialogue about how
We
to.
originally were supposed to have a seat on that commission. That was the promise. When it was, we hoped that the law through, and then that never happened.
Another thing, just again warning you about advanced work, so we have next weekend, then there's some work in Harold during the next month that's gonna affect service during the weekend service. There's Babylon Branch, concrete tie work has been happening this month and it continues through November. So there's reduced Babylon service on the weekends as they're doing that work. And coming up in December, the first 2 weeks of December, there's gonna be no service between Jamaica and Brooklyn for the whole week, 2 whole weekends. There's some type of, I forgot what, there's something with the yard in Brooklyn, there's some work they're doing that's gonna affect the service there, so we won't be able to run trains.
They're doing a lot of stuff in that yard over there. I'm
Are there-
watching it, a
are
lot
there-
of changes.
Are there any big events at Barclays this weekend?
There may be.
No service to.
No, but again, one of the things is that just like the Penn
I mean, if it's a
Station.
Knicks game, it wouldn't matter, Nets game wouldn't matter.
Well,
It's going,
yeah.
like
it's
for
going,
example,
but if you have something,
like
concert.
next Friday night, there's I think Billy Joel's at the Garden, and that night, Friday at 8 p.m. we're gonna close post and start the work. So what we're gonna be doing is the full outage is not gonna start till midnight. So from like 8 o'clock, we're gonna have a single track. So we're gonna be giving priority to eastbound trains to get people home from that concert. And then, so westbound people are gonna have to wait a little bit at Hicksville. We're gonna have single track, but then at midnight, then we're gonna stop this, we're gonna,
Gotta let the people know, that's,
You know,
Yeah.
that's this weekend?
next weekend.
So you have a week, so other people don't wait till Wednesday, Thursday to put it out there.
But again, all these projects, there's a lot of,
Well, Mark makes an excellent point too about, you know, those weekends when you're not gonna have Brooklyn service, because you still have some Islander fans left, you know, that do take the train into,
There's also
To Barclays.
concerts there, Barclays.
Yeah.
Concerts.
and there's concerts as well.
I mean, that's another initiative that we're gonna be focusing on this year, is looking ahead to next year, reaching out to, I mean, we normally talk to those venues, the big venues, but even out east, because there's so much work happening that if you don't do work every time there's an event, you can never do any work.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to, we're gonna develop some of a calendar of when things are happening, so at least we can let people know and coordinate. You know, some of the bigger festivals and things like that out east. We wanna know about it and try to work around it, but there's a limit to what you can work around.
Is there a calendar of closures and events that people can look at, that you can refer them to, so that they can have a quick access to that information? You know, like, you can tell us here that track is gonna close at midnight. Can they look online and say, you know,
Not yet. That's one thing that over the past year I've been struggling with, getting a handle of all these things and getting the word out. But then now that's our next step, is trying to build a calendar like that. The thing is, we know, like for example, for a year in advance, we know some of the stuff is being planned. But until it's fully scheduled, things change and they get canceled. So you really can't put it out too far in advance. So there's a challenge with that. But we do have to publicize it better.
right, and that's what people are gonna look for, the consistency, you know?
I'm thinking maybe we could do it 3 months in advance and put stuff in, but it's hard to go beyond
I
that.
know project management used to do a look ahead, but it was it tended to be pretty technical about what was happening. It
We have
really
multiple, we have multiple calendars,
Yeah.
but then now again with the Amtrak work and the Moynihan work,
Right.
that all factors into these things, so we
Right.
can't.
Yeah, you can't, if you tell somebody we're not doing any work, it doesn't mean nobody's doing any work.
No, because then they're doing work that affects us, so now it's limiting our
They
ability to
used to
plan.
coordinate and have the Queens work done in October, because you know the Mets were never gonna make the playoffs. So they kinda knew that ahead of time.
Yeah, sort of.
But there are other things you can't be so sure of.
Well, that's why Post Avenue is next weekend.
Anybody else Chris, everything else?
The World Series
I've been
there.
thinking about that, that date, it was only 2 weeks ago, it was the 17th of last month, I believe was the date of that jumper in Oceanside.
Oh, okay, that's a different
Yeah,
incident
it was really recent, I know that we were trying to get that train together, and I was sitting here reviewing it, it was only last week, a couple weeks ago.
She was out, I think she was out of Central High School.
We have one.
Yeah, we have one pending in the governor's office.
Is that from the
And
street
just to
drop,
give
from the
it-
street, from the train talk mention?
Sorry.
Did you get it from the train talk mention?
I think we got it from the
First one, that
earlier
was
one,
from the
yeah,
first
one.
yeah,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
first
So
round,
we
yeah.
still, we do have, just, so you know, we have a Suffolk opening and a Nassau opening on council, so.
Yeah, and we've been getting.
And a Brooklyn opening.
We've been getting,
Fill
we-
that yet?
No,
We've been getting-
that's,
It's
a lot
hard.
of
That's not the hard- that's the hardest one to get,
It's
really.
not people commute every day.
Yeah.
because then you're almost looking at a reverse commuter.
The Nassau is more than you should be able to fill
Yeah.
it quicker.
Yeah, Brooklyn's really difficult with
But so,
Have we got
out to your
anything?
community.
Yeah, have we got
that.
anything yet?
We got one nibble, I think, on Brooklyn. I saw one recently that somebody said they were interested in it. I don't think they sent us a resume though.
I met with the borough president about it, and he is fully open to taking our suggestions for the scene, which is, we had that before. So if you know anybody, he'd be more than happy to,
Yeah.
you know, do that. To adjourn, I guess, officially.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You guys thought I would say hi. I've been working for the past while.
Larry, just in time for us to
Yeah.
adjourn.
Hey, Larry, hey!
Good night, Larry.
He's one of our Nassau's.
I've been listening in the background.
Yeah, he's been.
Well, before we break, have any questions, Larry? For Hector?
Well, no, not from what I heard at the beginning. I had one correction on the minutes, but you were way past that by the time I got here. So.
All right, just
Well,
send
we didn't
just-
approve. We didn't approve.
We didn't
them,
approve
so-
it because we
we
didn't have
we didn't
quorum.
have a
So
quorum.
just send it to Bill.
We didn't have a quorum, so yeah, you can send it to me. We'll vote it next time.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay, can I have 2 seconds with you?
Sure.
That's all I want.
So Ryan has got a new project, substation, over in Port Washington.
Fine, thanks for
Next
coming.
train out.
Thanks for coming. All right, I'll
Okay.
see you,
Whatever that means, I'm on it.
I get building that gets delivered, so we have to coordinate with the town,
You said these
where
are
we're gonna put this thing, where we're gonna set up the crane, are there gonna be any parking
I
spots,
wanted to see
is
that.
the road gonna be closed? There's a lot of, so I think every week you think, okay, I wanna do this, this, and this, and every day we're getting new stuff. There is, it's an employee, you have to get a key in the back and then come back.
I'm just gonna go in there. Big one, big kahuna. Are you gonna take the flyers?
Does your bathroom here I could use?
They're gonna get the key, they're gonna use the key, and then come back.
I'll be here for a little bit because I gotta take the AV stuff.
Live in person, how you doing?
Oh.
I'm Jerry.
Oh,
Jerry
my
Brinkman.
goodness, oh my goodness, how are you doing?
Good,
It's like
good.
so crazy to put like names to faces and it's all this fun.
When you have
Are you guys breaking, sounds like?
Yeah,
we're
we
done.
are.
We're done.